But now we have the most cash on hand we've ever had in the history of the company. We have clients, we have technologies, we've got an awesome team. We're in a brand new facility here for our new headquarters in Sunnyvale, California. And I haven't been literally this excited about Knightscope's future in the last 12 plus years.
Hello, I'm John Janarone, Editor-in-Chief of IPO Edge. Very happy to be back here with William Santana Lee, who is the founder, chairman, and CEO of Knightscope. Now, folks who have been with us a long time might remember 5 whole years ago, we interviewed Bill here. A lot has changed. We've got a brand new product launch just out this morning. We're going to dig into that momentarily. Before I do, I just want to remind everyone, since you were last watching this, the company has since gone public. It now trades on NASDAQ under KSCP. So you can buy the shares there. They were available to the private markets back then, but now they're trading freely. We're going to talk a lot more about that. We're going to jump right into the case 7. Before we do, we're going to start off a quick video here. In fact, I think we're going to start talking along with it so you can listen and watch at the same time. With that, I'm going to introduce Jarrett Banks, my co-host, who's going to bring Bill onto the air. Jarrett?
Thanks, John. And Bill, good to see you again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
All right, let's get right into it. You've just announced the K7 autonomous security robot. What can you tell us about it?
We couldn't be more excited about this new technology. It's a new advancement in perimeter security, unique combination of autonomy, robotics, artificial intelligence, and electric vehicle technology to be able to better secure the perimeter. And there's a new force today to do that.
And it's sitting right behind you, is that right?
That is, yep, that's the first one. And we're going through some more testing and validation. We announced that we'll start production second half of 26, primarily starting with our existing client base that we have already with Knightscope Technologies, and looking to grow in much larger environments. Where gravel, dirt, sand, light duty, off-road, securing stuff 24/7, 365, fully autonomously, and be able to do that much more effectively and cost effectively.
Very exciting. Now let's talk a little bit about how security costs are soaring across the board and how you're meeting some of those needs.
Well, I think your audience would benefit from a few numbers and better put in context why we're doing what we're doing. The public safety infrastructure, as I told Congress over the summer, is failing. You've got 1.5 million plus or minus security guards, about 1 million law enforcement professionals, 85 million cameras, 300,000 cop cars, and it's not working. You have a violent crime occurring every 26 seconds and a property crime every 4 seconds. The infrastructure needs a massive overhaul. And these folks that get up every morning and are willing to take a bullet for you and your family, the level of technology that we provide to them as a country is certainly beneath the dignity of our nation. And what we need to do is give them much more than the technological equivalent of a number 2 pencil and a notepad. And that's what's behind me today. And this is the forefront of new cutting-edge technology to improve public safety, law enforcement, and physical security by having a perfect memory that runs 24/7, that doesn't take vacations, doesn't call in sick. Most people may not know this, but the guarding industry experiences 100 to 400% employee turnover rates. Like literally you're getting a new team every 90 days. And then the law enforcement agencies are understaffed by 30 to 40%. And technology can be a huge enabler here to not only improve the cost, but also the effectiveness.
Excellent. Can we talk a little bit about the AI behind that vehicle?
Yeah, the AI is coming to kill everybody and take everyone's job. Is that, sorry, wrong media talking point? This is technology that is new tools to give officers and guards unprecedented capabilities that they normally would never have, plus a physical deterrence. I think that's one of the things that most people don't understand. It's like, why are your robots like so big? And it's, well, if I put a cop car in front of your home or your office, criminal behavior changes, right? So having a very large, 2,500-pound vehicle patrolling your neighborhood with the appropriate lighting, conspicuity, sounds, etc., gives that additional physical deterrence to stop the negative activity from starting in the first place.
Excellent. Now, you guys also operate a machine as service model. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the federal, state, local governments don't want to go set up a robot maintenance service division. Neither do our private sector clients. So we provide an all-inclusive subscription, which is awesome for our clients, but financially extremely lucrative for our investor base. Well, what's very interesting there is we include the hardware, the software, the firmware, unlimited upgrades, the decals, the training, the maintenance services, one throat to choke. We take care of everything. So folks that are already taxed with excessive workload can actually focus on their job while we help them do the everyday tasks.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the contracts that you have in place and what industries those are in.
The easy answer is anywhere you might see an officer or guard patrolling outdoors is a certain opportunity for a Knightscope. In a lot of cases, it might be a 24/7 facility like a healthcare, numerous hospitals, casinos, anywhere where you've got a lot of activity, or literally the opposite, completely vacant. The insurance company says you must provide private security for this empty building. The client doesn't want to pay 35 bucks an hour for a guard to walk around and stare at an empty building. Like we can kind of handle that. So it's either extremely remote or very dynamic areas, including a 9-story parking structure. And this could be across numerous verticals, logistics, manufacturing facilities, healthcare we spoke of, commercial real estate, corporate campuses, HOAs, apartment complexes, and the like.
All right, great. And you also have a strategic partnership with a company that's been in the news quite a lot lately. That's Palantir. What can you tell us about that?
So we struck a deal earlier this year that we announced with our friends over at Palantir. What a lot of folks may not realize is the federal government is trying to put as strong of a cybersecurity footprint on the technologies that are engaged by the federal government. And it can be extremely taxing, time-consuming, and very inefficient for each company to do that separately. So Palantir very thoughtfully set up their FedStart program that would allow us to move from our authority to operate. We're the only autonomous security robot company that has that authority to operate to work with the U.S. federal government, but move it from a FedRAMP moderate level to a FedRAMP high, but at the same time, achieve a DoD, a Department of Defense impact level 5, and that will enable us to accelerate deployments amongst all the federal departments and agencies.
Got it. Very exciting. Now you've got over 10,000 machines in network. What can you tell us about those beyond the K7?
I think in a lot of cases, those machines in network, I think I'm very proud of our team for being able to provide the proactive remote monitoring. We set up a separate department last year to do that. It's the risk and threat exposure team, the RTX team. And as a friend of mine always says, you have 1 million cameras, but you're literally blind. And what he means by that is you have so much data that you as a user don't know where to look and you're overwhelmed. And so we set up that department to get some of that workload off of our clients so they can focus on, the more important tasks that they have to deal with every day. And for us to be able to continue to build out that network is extremely important. Remember, I just mentioned 1.5 million security guards, 1 million law enforcement professionals. So those 2.5 million people, they're running 24/7. You can't triple shift a human. So at only given time, there's probably maybe 600-odd thousand humans trying to secure 332 million Americans across 50 states. That math literally doesn't work. And so what we want to do long term in terms of machine and network count is to get to 1 million machines in network, that can see, feel, hear, speak, and autonomously cooperate across each other so that you can give that force, that autonomous security force of 1 million machines to help those 600,000 humans that actually need more physical deterrence to stop the negative activity and unprecedented situational awareness to understand what's going on in the environment and to have an officer or guard literally be in multiple locations at the same time. That kind of capability will actually get the criminal activity down.
Sounds like they could have used you guys at the Louvre there in Paris.
Uh, this is a global problem. We're very much focused on securing the US, but I think this happens almost across every country. This little bit of information might be helpful for folks to understand in context why this is not working and it's broken. So the Department of Defense has nearly $1 trillion budget, right? There's one person in charge, the Secretary of Defense. There's a Northrop Grumman, a Lockheed Martin, a Raytheon, a General Dynamics to build a soldier whatever he or she might need in a theater of war. And literally at their fingertips, unbelievable power for drones, submarines, tanks, jet fighters, ISR, whatever you might need, right? We don't do that on our own soil. So the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. Department of Justice have no federal jurisdiction over 19,000 law enforcement agencies and 8,000 private security firms. There's literally no one in charge. There's no innovation process. There's not new widgets coming out every day. And these 2.5 million people get up every morning. It's like, here's a taser, a gun, and a camera and a phone. Like, good luck. Like, I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. And so what we're doing on our own nickel is to go build the technologies that we know are going to basically fix the problem and give them the appropriate tools for them to actually do their jobs effectively.
That's a really great point. I'm going to pass the baton here to my colleague John.
All right, thanks a lot, Jared. Bill, I've got to get back to what I was alluding to when we opened this up. Is it's been 5 whole years. What I'm curious
I've
about.
known you for more than half a decade. Wow.
But remember, Bill, it was COVID back then, so I guess we still haven't met in person. No one was meeting in person in those days. But Bill, I've got to ask, at that time, there was not so much buzz around those 2 magical letters, AI, and yet I think you were already using it then to some degree. But can you tell us about how much more you are now? And tell me if I'm right. Were you using it back then?
It was a few years ago, and it still happens. Hey, when's Knightscope going to use AI? And I'm like, you think there's a little dude inside, like pedaling like really fast, like Barney Rubble or Fred Flintstone? Like these machines need to be able to read hundreds of license plates a minute, need to be able to detect a person or detect the person, need to be able to autonomously recharge, completely navigate fully autonomously, hands off, not remote control. You don't do that without artificial intelligence. And so sometimes it's the question's a little frustrating and humorous, but the idea here is what we've been focusing on is we need these set of machines to be able to see, feel, hear, smell, speak, and autonomously cooperate. And in order to do that, you're going to have to push the boundaries of artificial intelligence. And this is not large language model kind of technology. Detecting a scent or detecting a particular sound, you need to start thinking about large audio models. You need to think about, it sounds silly, large scent models for what, notionally what someone would want to take a dog's nose figuratively and put it on a chip. Those are kind of a different way of thinking about AI, but the idea is the clients don't care if it's AI, autonomous, this, that, and the other thing. They just want their problem fixed, and that's what we're focused on.
Gotcha. And Bill, I remember asking you about this many years ago. You've got a really impressive background at Ford and some other major companies. Tell us how you've applied your experience there to being a very entrepreneurial guy, building this company from scratch, I guess 12 years ago, and rolling out all these new products. So how different in this and is this for you? And what did that experience give to help you along the way?
I live here in Silicon Valley. There are 22,000 startups. Literally 95% of them fail. So the probability, the statistical probability of founding a company, getting it funded, growing, taking it public, and still being in the ring 12 years later is kind of nearing zero. And I certainly am very grateful for the awesome training that I got at Ford Motor Company. I was able to work there, I think 12 different jobs, 4 different continents over a decade. And that gave me a lot of the technical and business acumen. I hate getting older, John. This is just awful, but at the same time, I love it because if I didn't have that experience, it would have been very difficult. We probably would have hit the wall, 4, 5, 6 times during that process if I didn't know who to call or what to do. But now we're at a completely different stage of the company's growth. It's been a very tough build. The technology's hard, operationally running it's hard. We didn't raise enough capital when we're private to build all the stuff that we're doing. But now we have the most cash on hand we've ever had in the history of the company. We have clients, we have technologies, we've got an awesome team. We're in a brand new facility here for our new headquarters in Sunnyvale, California. And I haven't been literally this excited about Knightscope's future in the last 12 plus years. Like we've finally got all the pieces of the puzzle. We've been changing everything. If you've gone through some of our earnings calls, we brought in a new board, cut 40% of the management team, brought in a new CFO, new accounting team, new sales team, set up a new remote monitoring team, set up an IT department. We've been redoing all the technology. We've got new stuff coming out next year, new manufacturing processes. We literally changed everything in the building, including the location and address of the building. And if you haven't noticed, we've even refined the brand and the logo itself. So turning everything upside down. It's funny, my outside legal counsel is like, "Hey, Bill, kind of looks like you took over your own company." Like, kind of feels that way. Like I'm a PE shop, just came in and like, all right, time to clean house. And now that we've done that over the last couple of years, the energy here, the excitement, the culture. We're expecting a bunch of friends and family here tonight for our first event at our new facility, and things are looking up in a very big way.
Well, Bill, that reminds me of something I was thinking about before our interview here, which is that you have thousands of investors, I believe, and you're talking about something that normally happens when you have a big controlling institutional investor coming in. You took the initiative yourself, but are you glad that you have so many investors and opened it up to the world so early on?
Kind of two-edged sword. I tried the first year to raise all the capital here, and I was told the following. There's $100 to $200 billion goes into startups every year. So they're like, hey, Bill, this will never work. You are out of your mind. It's hardware, it's software, it's too complicated. You should pick one. Physical securities, not an investment thesis. You need to go away, and you will never get that prototype built. Kind of fast forward, like wrong, 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 and wrong. But the mission was the most important thing. I was born in New York City. Someone hit my town on 9/11. I'm still profoundly pissed off about it. So I dedicated the rest of my life to better securing our country, and I'm going to force what needs to get done to happen. And so what I got around here is no, 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 and no. And so, okay, a little bit of New Yorker attitude, keep telling me no, like I'm going to punch you in the face and we're going to go, get this done. And I'm eternally grateful for the 35,000 investors that backed us before we went public. It's been a long journey, a rocky road, but they helped us get to this point, and we're eternally grateful to have that springboard because the next decade is going to be absolutely epic. We're building the nation's first autonomous security force, a combination of software, hardware, and humans to actually cure the public safety infrastructure crisis. And, I shared that with a little bit of details with that with some federal authorities, and you could see the body language change dramatically. The nation needs it, and we're going to build it.
Now, Bill, based on your press release, and folks, I encourage everyone to check this out. There's a lot more detail in there, as well as multiple videos showing demonstrations and so on. It looks like I, as an individual, can even get on the list to get one of these, the K7. Is that by design? I mean, because it's funny from a New Yorker, it doesn't look like it's necessarily what you need in an urban setting. I mean, I feel like this could be out in the countryside too. So if I'm a farmer or something, could I buy one if I just want one vehicle?
You can subscribe, but there's going to be, I think one of the problems that we've had is, I'll try to put this nicely. Probably one of our worst prospective clients is the chief innovation officer. Has budget, needs shiny object. I just want something cool. Like, we're pretty much directed the sales team to, discount those severely. We want to focus on clients that have a genuine crime problem, budget problem that we can actually address. And then we want the recurring revenue to go along with that, so long as we can address the issue. So yes, we have clients that have very large estates today that we patrol, or HOAs or apartment complexes. So long as we technically can do the job, it's in the US, and there's a problem that we can fix. Like, we're happy to support that client, but majority of our business is business to business and business to government.
Gotcha. And Bill, for those who aren't familiar with your the economics, and also I want to follow this up before I even ask the first question. I wonder if it has changed with the new technology here at the K7. It's a subscription. So how does that work? Is there an upfront payment, and then how long are you committed for? And where's the real juice for Knightscope? When do you start to really make money? Is it longer out, or is it front loaded?
Yeah, I think based on our existing portfolio of products, we've been pushing this machine as a service because for two reasons on the client side of things. One, most businesses or governments are not going to set up the robot maintenance service division. Like, they don't know how to service the stuff or deal with it or understand it. And also, it's unlikely you're going to show up at a client who's nickel and diming their guarding company by 5 cents. You're going to show up and say, you need to pay 6 figures for this machine. Like, the economics don't work. On the flip side, what we're working to do is to have luxury automotive per unit economics, meaning you're almost buying a new Tesla every year, but we don't want hardware margins. We want software as a service margins, so that you can get to that 50, 60, 70% over a 5-year period. So what's included in that subscription is the hardware, the software, the firmware, the telecommunications, the data storage, the decals, the training, maintenance, service parts, like upgrades. Everything's included. There's one throat to choke, and we kind of basically take care of it. And that's attractive for the marketplace and financially very lucrative. We've had clients now have renewed for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we're coming up on one client about to renew their 9th year. And if you do the analysis of the economics for those particular clients, it does exactly what I just said. So we're going to continue to do that and start moving some of our emergency communication device business to a more autonomous security robot machine as a service business model.
Gotcha. Now, Bill, for investors who are looking at your company for the first time, they might wonder, what do I compare this to? Do I look at security industry companies? Do I look at AI companies? And it's quite a unique blend, right? So when someone asks you, how do I benchmark you guys? What do you tell them?
So the funny part is we have a few equity research analysts covering the stock, and then some contemplating adding basically the same question, like, do I put you in public safety? Do I put you in Internet of Things? Do I put you in autonomy? Do I put you in robotics? Do I put you in AI? And the funny part for me, I've never seen so many intellectually capable folks kind of misunderstand the problem. So most investors are trying to find the outlier. I want the 10x opportunity. I want, something that's going to beat the market, quote unquote. But my investment thesis is The founder needs to look like this. It should have this per unit economics. It should operate out of this place. It should be headquartered in this location. And it's like you have a formula, but you want the outlier economics. Like it doesn't intellectually make any sense. You're supposed to not fit in any category. If you want a category buster, you want, outsized returns, you shouldn't be in the bucket. And I still, for the life of me, don't understand. I can be sympathetic, but most of me don't. I really don't get that logic for a lot of funds and investment kind of thesis approaches.
Gotcha. Now, Bill, for those who are following the news around AI and robotics, obviously Tesla's out there, and I think Elon has said that some massive percentage of the company's future profitability is going to be around robotics. I wonder what you make of that. Is there some enormous boom coming across robotics? I mean, to my mind, you're already there doing it right now. So what do you tell people who say, look, I want to invest in robotics. Why should I invest in you? And Elon says all the value in our company is robotics.
Maybe two different comments. One, we're so excited about the work that the Tesla team has been doing, have already accomplished, and the stuff that's on the horizon. Like we're grateful for the work that they've been doing. They've been trailblazing. They took some pretty serious technical risks to get kind of where they're going, but it's paying off. I think kind of as a first point. The second point is the reason there will be robots everywhere, quote unquote, is I call it the intersection. It's the appropriate point in time where you've got good enough telecommunications, you've got good enough compute at the edge, you have enough high quality data storage, you have cloud infrastructure, you've got enough software, firmware, mechanical, hardware, sensor capabilities, sensors that you can actually are affordable and effective, and all of it's finally coming together. So a robot is a very complicated system of all kinds of technologies that need to work together. And we finally have the technical part and the economics intersecting. And that's why it's finally time for the rise of the robots to occur. And then I'll caution or water that down a little bit. But what I told the folks on Capitol Hill over the summer, my biggest concern about robotics and AI is not necessarily the robots, the technology, or all the doomsayer stupidity going on. It's literally the other side of the coin, is the adoption. Large organizations don't want to change. Humans, by their own nature, don't want to change. Here in Silicon Valley, I don't know if it's half, but it's somewhere near there. Most of the engineers don't want to use AI. Nope, I know better. I've had 30 years of experience. There's no way this thing's going to code something better than. And to me, this is a complete insane discussion. It's like, hey, I just handed you fire, electricity, and the internet, and you've got all this great new capabilities, and you don't want to use it? And that is a huge problem. And that's why I've been pushing Congress to set up a national robotics strategy to basically have a mini mandate to force the federal government, all the departments and agencies to take 1% of their operating maintenance service budgets, and thou shall use robots, automation, autonomy, and AI. And this is not a call for spending more taxpayer dollars. It's actually the opposite. I need you to reduce your expenditures by using commercially available technology today to set the tone, because society and the government has no idea what's about to happen. That rise of the robots is a real thing. Elon is correct, but no one understands the impact it will have overall on society. Majority of it is going to be very, very good. There's always going to be, some awful things that happen. No different than when electricity came online, vehicles first came online, the internet first came online. Bad stuff will happen, right? Has water killed somebody? Sure. You're going to ban water? Like, doesn't make any sense. But it's a mixed bag for me. I'm very excited. but also we've got a like literally an adoption problem for the entire industry.
Gotcha. Makes a lot of sense, Bill. I want to ask you just a couple more questions. Looking at the company's financials, there's something that jumps out at me that I really like. You're sitting right in front of a fully functional 4 million plus hours tested piece of machinery. And you've also, as of August, $24 million in cash in your balance sheet, no debt. That to me looks like you've got really good runway here to let this baby fly, sell some of them, make it work without worrying too much about cash constraints. Is that fair?
Yes. I mean, for 12 years, I've suffered, I don't know how many investor calls with, you don't have enough cash. You're going to run out of cash. It's not going to work. You're not going to be able to scale. It's like, guys, it's over a decade. We've never missed payroll. We're not going to miss payroll. We're going to be fine. And kind of what I forced to happen has happened. We have the most cash on hand we've ever had in the history of the company. And you read it right. You've got a strong team, you've got strong technology, and now you have enough cash to go execute. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And we might have a couple of things up our sleeve.
All right. All right. Just two more questions for you, Bill. And one of them is going to be open ended. I'm going to let you have the floor. But tell me this, if there's one thing you think investors seem to misunderstand about the business that just keeps coming up, what would that be? And help explain that for us.
I think scale is one of the most important things. And I'll give you a clear example so that hopefully the audience understands. So we have two teams that run 24/7. One is the Knightscope Network Operations Center, the KNOC, and they manage the health of all the machines across the country, maintenance, service, parts, technicians, all this other stuff. And then there's a risk and threat exposure team that does the remote monitoring on behalf of our clients, right? Just because we doubled the amount of machines and network does not mean we're doubling the size of these teams. You need a critical mass of infrastructure to be public. It costs millions of dollars to be public. You need a certain, marketing team, sales team, engineering, and everything else. But just because we have that critical mass, the revenues aren't where they need to be just yet in order to cover that fixed cost basis that you need. But as we scale and the economies of scale actually literally come into play, the economics will then work very nicely for us. And again, I haven't been this excited about the company's future even since its founding. Like I can't sleep, and it's not because there's bad stuff going on. It's like I can't sleep because I'm too excited about the next day of what we're going to be able to accomplish.
Well, Bill, I mean, to your credit, I got to tell you, among the companies we interviewed 5 years ago, many of which went public a little too early, even before you did, are gone now. So congratulations to being here in a stronger position than the last time we saw you. Last question for you, Bill. A lot to talk about today about the K7, but looking into next year, we're almost there. What are you most excited about in 2026?
I'll say three things. One, the second half of 26 we'll start production of the K7. That's going to be very exciting, not just for us, but for the clients that have been waiting for it for a very long time. Second, we'll do a separate announcement for the next generation of our stationary lineup for the K1. We'll do a Knightscope briefing, a new product launch discussion, first or second quarter of next year. And then the last one is we're actively working on a lot of M&A activity. I've personally kind of been looking at 60 plus companies that either are cash flowing, very interesting, always accretive type of approach, or specific technologies can accelerate what we're doing. And there's a lot of interesting things from an M&A standpoint. I don't know if you recall, but my last job at Ford Motor Company, I was chief operating officer for a subsidiary I built for Ford. I had asked the board for $250 million to do a roll-up in the used parts industry. I bought 22 companies in 11 months, about 600 employees, doing about 150 million in sales, and had built the world's second largest automotive recycler. Now trades under the ticker LKQ. I think there's enough fragmentation in the public safety, law enforcement, and physical security space that a roll-up would actually be possible. So we're pretty excited to talk about that in 2026.
All right, Bill. Well, it's been great to see you again. Let's not make it 5 years next time before our next visit here.
Standing invitation for you to come out here to Silicon Valley, and looking forward to receiving you here at Knightscope headquarters.
We'd love to. We'll bring a set and we'll do it live, Bill. But always great to see you. And I'm sorry it's been so long. Excited
No, it's good to see you.
A7 and much more. This has been William Santana Lee, founder, chairman, and CEO of Knightscope, now trades on NASDAQ under KSCP. I'm John Janarone, editor-in-chief of IPO Edge, signing off.